Oh man, why did they go and make this movie when the third movie ended the franchise perfectly?
Yo, dudes, the Empire's pretty chill. Maybe you could, join it or something.
Hey everyone, Lucamus Prime here, and welcome to the next and the last review in my Toy Story movie review series. And today, guys, I'm going to be reviewing what is, of course, the most recent of the movies, the latest Toy Story movie out of the 4 movies. And this is also an updated thoughts review as well, because I originally posted a review for this a long time ago, but I, of course, have changed my opinion on this movie in the years that have gone by since this movie. And this movie, guys, is none other than 2019's Toy Story 4. So yeah, now, when it comes to this movie, so how was this made, guys? So this film was, of course, directed by Josh Cooley in his directorial debut, and so talks for a 4th film began in 2010, and Tom Hanks, with also Woody, stated that Pixar was working on the sequel in 2011. The film was officially announced in November 2014. And there was also as well changes of director which happened over the years, and production, of course, began in the next few years. After that, recordings took place. Many cast members reprised their roles. Unfortunately, one of them who was confirmed to be returning unfortunately passed away, which was Don Rickles, and Mr. Potato Head, may rest in peace. The film premiered in Los Angeles on June 11, 2019, and was released in the United States on June 21st. It grossed $1.073 billion worldwide, becoming the 8th highest grossing film of 2019. Like its predecessors, the film received critical acclaim, with praise for its story, humour, emotional weight, musical score, animation and vocal performances. The film was nominated for 2 awards at the 92nd Academy Awards, and it won Best Animated Feature, which in my opinion was not deserved. So yeah. When it comes to my initial reaction to this film, guys, so I, of course, watched this film at the cinema in 2019, and I gotta say that, you know, at first, I did love the movie. I can't believe I'm saying this now, but unfortunately, however, guys, in the years since the movie came out, with rewatches, I've noticed some problems, which is why I wish now that the franchise ended with Toy Story 3, my favourite animated movie of all time, which was already covered last week. So, what is this movie about? So, Woody, Buzz Lightyear, and the rest of the gang embark on a road trip with Bonnie and a new toy named Forky. The adventurous journey turns into an unexpected reunion as Woody's slight detour leads him to his long-lost friend, Bo Peep. As Woody and Bo discuss the old days, they soon start to realise that they're worlds apart when it comes to what they want from life as a toy. So, when it comes to this film, guys, now, my reaction to this film has unfortunately changed over years. And I say unfortunately because it's changed in a negative way. Because while I used to love the movie when I first saw it at the cinema, especially after last night's rewatch, I unfortunately no longer like Toy Story 4 as much as I used to. And now I regard it as a mediocre mess and an unnecessary cash grab. Because in my opinion now, when I think about it, the film was not needed. The franchise perfectly and truthfully, in my opinion, ended with the 3rd movie, as far as I'm concerned. And I feel this movie unfortunately ruins a happy ending for me personally now. So yeah, this is my opinion, guys. So if you guys love the movie, that's absolutely fine. So yeah, but please respect my opinion almost like I respect yours. So yeah. Now, obviously there is still some good qualities with this movie as expected from Pixar. So one thing that is definitely, in my opinion, a step up for this movie is probably the animation, because in my opinion, the animation is absolutely stunning and beautiful for a Pixar movie. Like, I think many of the shots in the film look very realistic, in my opinion. And many shots, in my opinion, look like they're live action as well, in my opinion. Like, it's very impressive what they're able to do with animation. It's very impressive. I mean, because this could be said for many of Pixar's most recent movies, because animation in many of them has looked pretty, you know, realistic in most of them I've seen, which is very impressive. And this film, for its worth, is no exception. And as well as the amazing animation, there's also once again great voice acting by the cast. So Tom Hanks is still once again amazing as Woody, my favourite role of Tom Hanks. Tim Allen is great as Buzz Lightyear, and for what it's worth, guys, as well, right? I would gladly watch this movie over that Lightyear spin-off because it has a Buzz I know in it, Tim Allen. As far as I'm concerned, guys, no one will voice Buzz to me other than Tim Allen. As far as I'm concerned, he always will be Buzz as far as I'm concerned, and no one can voice Will other than him to me. He's the only Buzz I can accept. And Woody's and Buddy's other friends also return in this film, Andy's Toys too as well, and they're voiced by their actors great once again, like Wally Shawn as Rex, John Ratzenberger as Ham, Blake Clark as Slinky, Esther Harris, may she rest in peace, as Mrs. Peter. This was unfortunately her final film before she died, rest in peace. And also the other voices of Bonnie's other toys, like as for example, Jeff Garlin as Buttercup, Kristen Shaw as Trixie, and Timothy Dalton as Mr. Pricklepants. Even though, in my opinion, those three were wasted because they barely appeared in a movie, which I definitely did not like. And Joan Cusack was also great as Jessie too, as well, in my opinion. And Bullseye was also the likable character he always is, really. Annie Potts, of course, also reprised the role as Bo Peep from the first two films as well. And my favourite voice role of her, but even though I didn't really like Bo in this movie, Annie Potts is still great as a nonetheless. And when it comes as well to the new characters in this movie, the only one that I like, guys, my favourite character in this film was none other than Duke Kaboom. And definitely one of my favourite voice roles of my favourite actor, Keanu Reeves. Definitely, in my opinion, the best part of the movie. He was very entertaining and funny, and Keanu Reeves definitely did a great job voicing him. Was very entertaining, in my opinion. Easily, in my opinion, the best part, and the only thing that I like to watch, you know, if it was to watch this movie, because when I rewatched this movie, the only thing I liked when I rewatched it was seeing Keanu Reeves' character, Duke Kaboom, and that was probably about it, really. So yeah, and he did a great job voicing him. Overall, personally, my favourite voice for Keanu is Batman from DC League of Super Pets, but he was still great with his Duke Kaboom for what it was worth. And another great thing, in my opinion, about this movie is also probably the music, which is composed by Randy Newman once again, and he still got it all these years later. And in the intro, we do once again get "You Got a Friend in Me" as the intro song, which I was happy to listen to. Probably my favourite Pixar song of all time. I was glad to hear it once again in the intro. And he also had other great musical scores in this, many of them returning from the first few films, which were nice to hear. And yeah, Randy Newman always will be my favourite Pixar composer of all time, and one of her composers of all time in general as well, and also a great singer, one of her singers of all time as well. So yeah, that's probably about it for a good quarter, I could say, for this movie. And I guess it was also nice to have a flashback showing why Bo Peep went away, with it explaining that she got taken away, because I think she got sold, didn't she? So yeah, that explains why she wasn't in Toy Story 3. But as I said, guys, in my review for Toy Story 3, I can happily accept Bo Peep not being in Toy Story 3 because due to her material she was made of, she would not survive the incinerator scene, of course. Even when she was a long distance away from a fire with other toys, she would not survive. So that's why I can happily accept her not being in the third movie. So yeah. So this film at least has a flashback showing that she gets donated alongside her lamp. So yeah. So it was also nice to see a brief flashback of Andy as well, I guess, which was also nice to see. Yeah, that was nice to see. And however, when it comes to bad qualities, unfortunately, there's been so much I've had since I first saw it. And one bad quality I've had since I first saw the film was that I did not like how, apart from Woody and Buzz, I feel that all of Andy's toys, and also Bonnie's toys introduced in Toy Story 3, like I said earlier, they barely did anything in a movie. Like I don't get that, because, and it really annoys me, because in the third movie, all of Andy's toys all played important parts in the story, didn't they? You know, those who appeared. They all had important roles to play, whereas in this film, they barely did anything. So, really? You could literally come out with a movie and it would change nothing. Nothing at all. It really annoys me how they barely did anything in a movie, and they only made Woody and Buzz have roles. I mean, sure, they're main characters, but they should at least have some help, right? Of course. So, yeah. And also as well, when it comes to Mr. Potato Head, guys, so as I said earlier, Don Rickles unfortunately passed away before he could record any dialogue for the movie, which is very sad because he did sign on to return for this movie, but unfortunately he died in 2017. So it was decided, with the permission from Rickles' family, that they would use archive audio and unused audio from Mr. Potato Head for this movie to create a brand new performance. So they use lines from other movies and also from like games or the rides at theme parks, just anything Don Rickles did watch Mr. Potato Head for, really. But the problem is, in this film he barely spoke at all. Like, really? And I can't recall how many he had in total, guys. I think he had about 7 lines. If you had more than that or less, then please forgive me. But yeah, it is pretty... Honestly, the film is so forgettable, really. Because like I said, the only thing I like about this film is Duke Kaboom, and that's probably about it, really. So yeah, he barely spoke in the movie, and he didn't play a role in the film. Like, and I just didn't really like that. Like, bit disrespectful, really, how, you know, you promised us that Don Rickles will have a performance in the film, yet he barely speaks. Like, in my opinion, a much better example of a Pixar film using unused audio for an actor who unfortunately died as their character was probably Doc Hudson in Cars 3, because Paul Newman unfortunately passed away before he could reprise his role, so they used unused audio for a third movie in which he appeared in flashbacks, so yeah, that was used way better in my opinion. And also as well, some characters also don't appear in this film and make out they don't exist, so... One that I can probably accept is probably Chuckles, because Bud Lucky unfortunately passed away as well, so rest in peace Bud Lucky, but they could have used unused dialogue from him, couldn't they, if they had any? Or at least have him make a cameo appearance or something to show that he's still in the world of Toy Story, not forgotten about. Peapod also is not in the film either for some reason, and when it comes to Totoro, I believe Totoro was absent due to a licensing thing, so yeah, that's probably why, so that's understandable, I guess. And they also make out that the Sunnyside characters don't exist anymore, like, you know, the Ken and Barbie and other characters from the Sunnyside don't exist. And also the soldiers too are also not mentioned at all, which is disappointing. And also as well, as I already stressed before, in my opinion, the film was not needed at all. In my opinion, it's an unnecessary cash grab, because Toy Story 3 is, as far as I'm concerned, perfectly ended the franchise to me. And that's how it is to me. In my opinion, this is a fan fiction cash grab, which was not needed at all. And also as well, guys, one thing that also annoys me is that, in my opinion, the humour fell flat compared to the last 3 films and other Pixar films in general. Like, it felt underwhelming in my opinion, and there's one thing about Buzz which in my opinion I did not like, which was probably the inner voice subplot, where basically he presses his buttons on him to hear his toy voice talking, and he says it's his inner voice. Like, that is just so stupid and dumb, because Buzz knows he's a toy. Like, and it's just his voice that's talking, it's not his inner thoughts at all. And it breaks his development from the first movie as well, and it's just ridiculous. Like, you're making his development in the first film where he goes from thinking he's real Buzz to knowing he's a toy. Pointless, so yeah, well done. And also, when it comes to new characters as well, in my opinion, guys, apart from Duke Kaboom, I found many of the new characters annoying, in my opinion. For example, I didn't really like Gabby that much. In my opinion, she was a pretty weak character, and they make out that she's supposed to be an antagonist, but she's not an antagonist, so, like, really, like, I feel about not having a villain in this film. This film was missing something, and I also, as well, in my opinion, found Forky very annoying as well, and it also makes no sense how he's a spork, but he comes to life, because he's not a toy, he's a spork. And last time I checked, guys, sporks don't come to life because they're not toys. So yeah, sporks are not toys, they're cutlery. So yeah, it's ridiculous. And Tony Hill did a good job voicing him, in my opinion, but personally, though, I found Forky very annoying, and on last night's rewatch, I noticed another problem I had, which was where he called Woody useless. So, like, don't you dare call Woody useless. Don't you dare. Because he's not useless at all. I mean, at the start of the film, Woody risked his life to save RC from the storm drain. So yeah, how's that useless? And furthermore as well, What is also as well stupid, there's also a character who's like a policeman toy, I think it is, yeah, who calls Woody selfish. And like, Woody is not selfish. Don't you dare call him that either. So I feel this film really badly treated Woody. I hated that. He didn't deserve any of that. That made me pretty angry when I watched it last night. And then, also, when it comes to Bo Peep, guys, while it was somewhat a good pleasure to see Bo Peep return, one thing I did not like was, in my opinion, she was a bit unlikable and a bit rude to Woody. And one joke in my opinion that did not work for me was when she lost her arm at one point and she laughed about it afterwards when Woody was frightened for her. Like, really, Bo Peep? You made Woody feel scared for nothing? Well done. And one particular part that I also hate about Bo Peep in this movie was also when Duke was talking about his backstory with his previous owner called Renner, I think it is, yeah? And she shuts him up and telling him to forget his owner. Like, that was just so horrible, in my opinion. So this movie, in my opinion, really ruined Bo Peep beyond all belief. They made her so unlikable, and I hated that. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And I don't really get that at all, really, how this film was being so nasty to Woody, because he didn't deserve it at all. And Bo Peep was unlikable, in my opinion. And also, I also noticed as well, guys, they also changed her design for some reason. Because when you compare her a picture from the first two films and then from this movie, you probably notice there's a difference. And I noticed it on last night's rewatch. And which is stupid, because the toys who appear in all four films, they didn't get redesigned at all. They have their same iconic designs in all four of the movies. Those who, of course, you know, appeared, you know, who were missing, like Bo, for example. In addition as well, guys, one thing I also did not like was I feel this film also rehashed several plots from the previous movies. Like, it didn't really do much different things with it, apart from, of course, the absence of a villain. So, one example of a rehash is that Woody is no longer a toy Bonnie plays with the most, as a new toy shows up, but becomes Bonnie's new favourite toy, being Forky, just like how in the first film, it was Buzz who was Andy's favourite toy, and Woody was no longer played with the most. In addition, Woody and the new toy get separated from the other toys, and end up in a place with a bunch of scary-looking toys. So yeah, that's another rehash from the first movie. They also meet a toy who acts friendly and nice, but is actually a villain with a self-serving goal that involves Woody. But of course, unlike Lots on Stinky Pete, Gabby Gabby's not really a villain, is she? She just wants a new voice box, doesn't she? So yeah, and so I didn't like how this film didn't really try to do anything different, really. That's why I grew to not liking the movie as I rewatched over time. And speaking of course, Bonnie not playing with Woody anymore as her favourite toy, this leads to a plot hole because at the end of Toy Story 3, Andy entrusted Bonnie to take care of Woody when he goes to college when he was 17 and no longer plays with toys. And in that movie, Bonnie was so happy to have Woody. She hugged him, she played with him, and she loved him from the very first moment she saw him at Sunnyside, and she took him to her home. But in this film, however, Bonnie doesn't play with Woody anymore, and she completely forgot her promise and she lost him at the carnival without even realising, which of course results in the ending of the movie, which I'm also going to get on to. So, like, really, Bonnie? So, in my opinion, guys, Bonnie in this film was very annoying, and I would not be surprised if it's not even her, it's actually a twin sister or something, because, yeah, there's no way that's Bonnie from the third movie at all. There's no way at all that's Bonnie to me. So, yeah, furthermore as well, now, when it comes as well to other scenes I didn't like in the movie, but I also did not like the plot of Buzz rescuing Woody, because I feel there was lots of like petty, campy moments which didn't really work for me. Because like I said, guys, in my opinion, the humour just didn't really work in this film. I didn't think, because when I watched this film, guys, apart from Duke Kaboom's scenes, I didn't even smile or laugh in the movie. The only part that worked for me the most was Duke Kaboom, and that was it. And then, I also as well did not like the scene where Woody argues with other toys to go back to the antique store to rescue Forky. And they argue about loyalty. Like, I really hated that. So yeah, I feel this film definitely mistreated Woody on so many levels, and I hated that. So yeah, unfortunately, you guys, with last night's rewatch, I've grown to not liking the movie because of many of these reasons. And let's not as well forget, guys, the ending. The ending, in my opinion, is a disgrace to the third movie's ending. It makes the third movie's ending, where Andy gives the toys to Bonnie and they have a happy new home to live in, absolutely pointless, because Woody goes with Bo Peep and the other toys leave him and Bo Peep. So I'm thinking, oh, bravo, you've literally killed the ending of Toy Story 3 now. Well done. Yeah, couldn't believe that. So, all I can say, guys, is that yeah, this film, I've grown to not liking more and more as I rewatch it. And last night's rewatch definitely, you know, solidified me as disliking this movie. So, yeah, I no longer love the movie. I got it now as a mediocre mess. And not only that as well, guys, but you know how I said that, in my opinion, it didn't deserve the Oscar for Best Animated Feature? Well, in my opinion, the animated film of 2019 that deserved the Oscar that year was How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. That, in my opinion, deserved the Oscar, not this. That's my opinion, because that film, in my opinion, was a masterpiece compared to this. So, yeah. Like I said, guys, all the good things, in my opinion, was the voice acting, the visuals, animation, Randy Newman's music, and also Duke Kaboom. That's probably about it, really, as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah. This film was an unneeded cash grab, which ruined the ending of Toy Story 3. So, yeah. I've already talked about it. Maybe didn't need a sequel. I'm going to talk about it here. In my opinion, it's a cash grab, was not needed. So, yeah. Thankfully, Pixar did a much better film afterwards, which was Onward. Onward was, in my opinion, way better than this. And in my opinion, the film does deserve a sequel. So, yeah. They, of course, also made Soul My Year, which was my favourite movie of 2020 as well. Beautiful movie. This film, however, was not beautiful, in my opinion, at all. So, yeah. So, when it comes to this franchise, guys, I really hope they don't do a fifth movie. If they do that, I'm not going to watch it, because last night I rewatched Toy Story 4 and I don't want to see any more. I'm done. Because rewatching the movie, I grew to not liking it, and last night's rewatch definitely, you know, solidified my opinion not liking it way more. Yeah, sadly, the more I rewatch the movie, the more I don't like it, and last night proved it. So, yeah. Now, if you wonder what I give Toy Story 4 out of 10, guys, well, if I was to give a score out of 10, I think on my first ever review I did for a movie back in, like, 2019, when I got back from the cinema, I think I gave it, like, probably a score of something like, I don't know, 9 out of 10, which I don't know why I did. Like, why was I so excited for that film in the first place? Just why? Because now when I think about it, you know, I think it's an unneeded crash grab, which was not needed at all. It's just, you know, really shocking, really, that, you know, I was excited for it. So now, guys, as the years have gone by, my score has constantly, you know, gone down. And last night's rewatch, I now give Toy Story 4 a 5 out of 10. That's what I give it now, because of all the problems that I mentioned and more that I noticed on last night's rewatch. And I have no doubt that if I keep rewatching, I'll probably notice even more problems as I rewatch it. I mean, there's some YouTubers I watch who actually hate the movie and they absolutely despise it. And after last night's rewatch, I can't say I blame them. And I have no doubt that if I was to keep rewatching, I'd probably hate it a lot more. Who knows? We'll see. But for what it's worth, I would watch other Lightyear, though, because I refuse to watch Lightyear because at least the film has Tim Allen as Buzz, thankfully. So, yeah. And as I said before, guys, no one, in my opinion, can voice Buzz other than him. Even though the inner voice joke was absolutely stupid and dumb. So, yeah. And that's it, guys. I'm never going to rewatch this movie again. I'm only going to rewatch just the first two films. So, when it comes to Toy Story, guys, I'm only going to watch the first movie, the second movie, and my favourite, the third movie, and that's it. So, yeah, there is no way I'm ever going to rewatch a fourth movie again now. Last time's rewatch will be the last time I've ever going to rewatch that movie, because, yeah, why should I watch it again? Exactly. So, yeah. So, guys, this is me doing my review for Toy Story 4, the last of the Toy Story films I'm going to be doing. So, you know the drill, guys. Be sure to give this video a like. Also, be sure to let me know in the comments what you guys think of Toy Story 4. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. I'd love to see what your thoughts are on it. Also, be sure to join Team Power by pressing subscribe in the future. If you would like to be a member, you can return it using a piece of art or a description. And for what it's worth, to infinity and beyond.